It brought Violet in.
Good evening. Let's call this meeting of the County Board to order. It is Tuesday, December 21st, 2010. The time is 7:05. I would ask all board members and visitors to turn off your cell phones, or at least turn them down to vibrate only. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ammons.
Present.
Anderson.
Here.
Benzel. Bergson.
Here.
Betts.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Cowart.
Present.
Holderfield.
Here.
James.
Here.
Jay.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Knott.
Here.
Kurtz.
Here.
Langenheim. McGinty.
Here.
Michaels.
Here.
Mosier. Nudo.
Here.
O'Connor.
Here.
Petrie. Quisenberry.
Here.
Richards. Rosales.
Here.
Sapp.
Here.
Schrader.
Here.
Alex.
Here.
Weibel.
Here, we have a quorum. I'd like to note that board members Langenheim, Benzel, Petrie, and Mosier have indicated they cannot make this meeting. In addition, Mr. Richards called me about a half an hour ago, said he would be late. Tonight's prayer is a holiday prayer. Dear Lord, at this time of season, please open our hearts. May we learn to be givers, not takers, for only then can we feel blessed. Make us instruments of your peace, that peace might fill our world. May your abundant mercy touch our lives. May our hearts so give and so receive as to expand to touch the stars. May we learn to live with love, that we might know of heavenly bliss while still here on earth. Amen. Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
Would the clerk read the notice of the meeting, please?
Notice is hereby given that a regular meeting of the County Board, Champaign County, Illinois, will convene on December 21st, 2010, 7 p.m. in the Wild Shields Meeting Room, Brookins Administrative Center, 1776 East Washington Street, Urbana, Illinois, in said county for the purpose of allowing and ordering payments of claims against the county, receiving and acting upon reports of committees, and such other matters as may be brought before said meeting, which said meeting shall continue in session from day to day until the completion of said business.
Move approval.
Moved by Mr. Betts, second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Seek approval of the agenda and the addenda.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. James, second by Mr. Kurtz. I want to point out that on page 1, under areas of responsibility reports, it says summary of action taken at November 7 meeting. That should be December 7, not November. And also on page 2, the same thing, above policy personnel appointments. It says November 14th, should be December 14th. Mr. Betts.
Mr. Chairman, item 12, which is under other business, I would ask unanimous consent to place that as the first item of business.
So moved.
That would be right before areas of responsibilities?
That's correct.
Okay. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The date and time of our next regular meetings for the Committee of the Whole for Highway and Transportation, County Facilities, Environment, and Land Use is Tuesday, January 11th at 6 p.m. in this room next year. The next one for Finance, Policy, Justice is on Tuesday, January 18th, 6 p.m. And then the regular County Board meeting is very late in the month of January on the 27th at 7 p.m., also in this room. The next item is the consent agenda. Are there any items you wish to take off the agenda?
Move adoption of the consent.
Moved by Mr. Betts, second by Ms. Ammons. Roll call.
Ammons.
Yes.
Anderson. Bergson. Betts.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Cowart.
Yes.
Holderfield.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Knott.
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
McGinty.
Yes.
Michaels.
Yes.
Nudo.
Yes.
O'Connor.
Yes.
Quisenberry.
Yes.
Rosales,
Yes.
Sapp, Schrader,
Yes.
Alex, Weibel.
Here. Motion carries. Public participation. Seeing none. Communications. Mr. Knott.
I just note the passing of David Heath, who was a board member maybe in the 70s, I believe. I saw his obituary in the paper yesterday. He ran Heath and Sons Funeral Home, and I remember talking to him here one time at a board meeting. I didn't really know him personally, but I assume he must have been a member late 70s, early 80s.
Other announcements by board members? Ms. Busey has something to say.
Just that you have your county officials directory at your desk tonight, the yellow book, and we found one error right before the meeting, pages 13 and 14. The current county board liaison assignments was the wrong list, so you have the corrected list at your desks. Please make sure and insert it and keep it with your book. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's close communications. Going on to the approval of the minutes for November 18th, 2010.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Betts, second by Mr. Jay. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Move now to item 12, is it? Item 12 on the business. Mr. Betts.
Mr. Chairman, who is your nominee to replace the Champaign County Clerk who is resigning?
My nominee is Mr. Gordon Hulton, also known as Gordy Hulton, as clerk for the Champaign County.
Is there a second?
Second.
And I presume this refers to resolution number 7604, and that is the motion? Mr. Chairman? Discussion?
Well, no, stay up there. There's been some perhaps controversy about whether we should appoint Mr. Hulton as the clerk. We call it permanent clerk at this time or not, because there is statutes that say we need to declare a vacancy and then issue a notice to all chairs of the recognized parties in the county. I would ask our state's attorney to come up to the podium and address this question or situation.
Ms. Reitz?
So if the question is whether you can go ahead and appoint a permanent replacement or whether you should proceed by appointing a temporary replacement and then a permanent replacement later, we have looked into this question, and my opinion is that you can at this time appoint a permanent replacement. The statutes are somewhat contradictory, but for all intents and purposes, the notice requirement has been met. The parties have been made aware of the vacancy of Mr. Sheldon's resignation, of his intent to resign effective January 5th. By statute, he cannot take back that resignation. It is irrevocable and effective January 5th. And the political parties have had effective notice. They have met. The Republican Party has selected its pick, and by nomination by the chair has made that publicly known. And under the statute, then the next step would be to appoint the successor. And in my opinion, by my read of the statutes, that can be a permanent appointment effective January 5th upon the effective date of Mr. Sheldon's resignation.
Does anyone wish to, I'm going to entertain allowing questions, which we don't normally do. If folks have questions of the state's attorney. Seeing none, thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
Any questions or comment regarding the nomination? Seeing none, I would ask that the clerk call the roll. Yes is supports Resolution 7604. No is the opposite.
Mr. Chairman, just
Yes.
a point of order, point of inquiry, rather. This is a permanent, we
That
will be
is
voting on a
correct.
permanent replacement, is that
You would be
correct?
voting on a permanent replacement, not a pro tempore replacement.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, I think it's pro tempore because it won't fill the full current term that the county
I think-
clerk was elected to. It fills it until the next general election, which is November.
Let me clarify something, because I think Ms. Busey and I are having a colloquy that I think I should share with everyone else. I use this word pro tempore in a different manner in which she's using it. I'm using it in terms of a temporary appointment between the time there's actually a vacancy where he leaves the office and the time we swear in. And I think she's using it in terms of filling out the rest of the term. And in fact, he is filling out a portion of that term because the statute would require that there be an election and a primary in 2012. So it's not the full 4 years, it is 2 years, and there will be an interim election. We're just using the term slightly differently. Mr. Kurtz.
If we appoint Mr. Holton permanently, does he retain the same salary as a 15-year tenured clerk, or when we make this motion, are we making a motion just for the position, or are we making a motion for position and salary?
We already voted on the salary.
How do we not know this stuff?
The salary is set 6 months before the term of office begins by the county board, and anyone who is appointed to fulfill the remainder of that appointment is guaranteed by the statutes to receive the same salary. You cannot change it.
Again, any further questions? We will have the clerk call the roll. Call the
Am-
roll. Go ahead. Sarah.
Ammons.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Bergson. Betts.
Yes.
Carter. Cowart. Holderfield.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Knott.
Yes.
Kurtz.
Yes.
McGinty.
Yes.
Michaels. Nudo.
Yes.
O'Connor.
Yes.
Quisenberry.
Yes.
Rosales.
Yes.
Sapp.
Yes.
Schrader.
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Weibel.
Yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations.
Okay, moving on, environment and land use. Mr. Kurtz. Microphone, please.
Under environment and land use, I make this omnibus motion. The group of annual R&E licenses were not available at the committee of the whole meeting and have been received since. I move that the following annual R&E licenses be approved in one omnibus motion. Alto Vineyards on Duncan Road, west of Champaign. The Stop on North Cunningham near Urbana. Uncle Buck's Sports Bar Incorporated on South Lake south of the Lake of Woods Road outside of Mahomet. Shirley Oasis on CR 3000 North near Penfield. CC Pink House Incorporated on CR 1600 North outside of Ogden. And from the addendum, Tin Cup RV Park Incorporated on Tin Cup Road outside of Mahomet, and I so move.
Second by Mr. Schrader. Discussion?
Point of order is
Ms. Alex?
is Motel 6 on that as well?
No, it's not.
That was removed.
That one is not part of the motion.
Thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Kurtz.
Number 2, the annual hotel and motel license approval. There's only one annual motel license for approval, and that is for Motel 6 on North Cunningham near Urbana, and I so move.
Second by Ms. Anderson. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Kurtz. Policy, personnel, and appointments. Mr. Betts.
I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Chair of Policy.
Ms. Amons.
Mike, I know.
I won't comment on that.
Get used to that, right?
I am.
Okay, policy, personnel, and appointments has adoption of resolution number 7594, appointing David Short to the Champaign Southwest Mass Transit District Board.
There's, she's moving this. Mr. James, second. Is that a second?
Yes.
That's a second by Mr. James. Discussion. Mr. Betts.
Could someone apprise me of just exactly what this board is doing after this many years of not providing services?
I would say they've probably been doing that quite well for a number of years. I'm sorry, it's the best I can offer.
Why are we continuing to make appointments to an entity that doesn't do anything?
Well, they have to. By law, they have to renew their membership. I will say, though, if we do not vote for them, that they will remain in office until they're replaced by somebody else, so. Mr. Nudo.
Yes, to answer Tom's question, they do meet on a regular basis. They have a budget, they have a taxing body, and I think the last time we discussed this several years ago, we're waiting for the next court decision to see whether they are in essence viable or not viable. The last court decision was a mixed bag of pro and anti for them. So we've taken the approach that let's let the courts decide before we make any other changes to this.
Is it my understanding that we're still waiting?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
April's the next court date.
Mr. Carter, did you have a comment?
I'll wait till new business.
Okay. Okay.
I couldn't hear.
Further discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Betts.
I'm going to vote no. I know he's going to get appointed and get retained anyway, but it's symbolic for me because I think that this entity is about as phony as a $3 bill, and I think that we need to occasionally, because we've been at this for years now, appointing a body that's minimally taxing but providing no service. And last time around, we did this, and the time before, people promised eventually that they were going to provide service, and we've absolutely gotten nowhere on this thing.
Mr. James?
I would suggest Mr. Betts go to that meeting and voice those concerns.
Nudo?
I would also remind everyone that when the vote was taken to form this board, it was one of those 74 to 26 votes percentage-wise for that particular area of town. So the public fully supported that, and I don't think we should get in the way of what the public wanted for themselves. Let the courts decide.
Further discussion? See none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Move adoption of resolution number 7595, appointing Eric Thorsland as chairperson of the Champaign County Zoning Board of Appeals.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Betts. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Move adoption of resolution number 7596, establishing guidelines for the Champaign County 2011 apportionment plan. I so move.
Second by Mr. McGinty. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Amons. Finance, Mr. McGinty.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 1, I recommend adoption of resolution number 7597, purchase and not following purchasing policy, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Mr. Alex. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I move adoption of resolution number 7598, payment of claims authorization, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Mr. Alex again. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I recommend adoption of resolution number 7599, emergency budget amendment for the clerk for $5,000 to cover grant transfer from Fund 670 for fiscal 2010, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Mr. James. Discussion. I would like to point out to new members of the county board that you'll note that this resolution has 2 asterisks by it. That means it needs a special number of votes. If you look at the final page, that's actually the 4th pink page with nothing on it. At the top, there's a tiny print that says roll call and 18 votes. There are certain items which, in some cases by statute, in some cases by county rules, we have to have a certain number of votes, and that's what those asterisks mean. Then, on occasion, we'll have an amendment, we'll forget to put this on, but we're pretty good about usually doing that. So, we will need a roll call for this and actually the next one. Further discussion on this resolution? See none, roll call.
Ammons?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Bergson? Betts?
Yes.
Carter? Cowart? Holderfield?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Jones? Knott?
Yes.
Kurtz?
Yes.
McGinty?
Yes.
Michaels?
Yes.
Nudo?
Yes.
O'Connor?
Yes.
Quisenberry?
Yes.
Rosales?
Yes.
Sapp?
Yes.
Schrader?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
Weibel?
Yes, motion carries.
Item number 4, I recommend adoption of resolution number 7622, budget transfer, public defender. This is a contract with a private attorney to cover George Vargas's caseload while on military duty, and I so move.
Second by Ms. Amons. Discussion. Mr. Alex.
Question of the county administrator, were you able to locate the contract and confirm that the appropriations for the correct amount?
Well, the appropriations are as stated with the amendment. The contract that was provided with the finance agenda was the contract that expires at the end of February 2011, and the first 3 months is $3,000 per month. Mr. Rosenbaum had negotiated an increase to that contract effective March 1st for the balance of this fiscal year of $3,300, but had not prepared the contract, awaiting approval of the county board to give him the authority through this transfer to go ahead and execute that. So that's how that.
Thank you.
Further discussion.
Who is the contract being, I want to make sure I don't have any conflicts of interest.
Diana Lennick.
I don't.
Okay. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Ammons?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Bergson? Betts?
Yes.
Carter? Cowart? Holderfield?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Knott?
Yes.
Kurtz?
Yes.
McGinty?
Yes.
Michaels?
Yes.
Nudo?
Yes.
O'Connor?
Yes.
Quisenberry?
Yes.
Rosales?
Yes.
Sapp? Schrader?
Yes.
Alex? Weibel?
Yes, motion carries.
Item number 5, I recommend adoption of resolution number 7600, authorizing an equitable sharing agreement with the federal government, the Champaign County Sheriff's Office, and the Champaign County Board, and I so move.
Second by Mr. Sapp. Discussion. Ms. Amons.
I appreciate being able to speak to Sheriff Walsh earlier today. Everyone has a note of correspondence between he and I on this particular resolution. And although I completely understand, I am unable to support it under some other work that I do based on a general and a broader issue as far as drug laws and drug forfeitures. But this resolution is in particular to setting up the account, and he and I did discuss some possibilities in the future around the issues of education with regard to some of the revenue. Of course, we know he has control of this revenue, and we cannot dictate that. We just give him the authorization to set the account. So I'm totally clear on where it goes, but it was 47 pages of looking at work, and he helped me go through all of that. So I was appreciative of that. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody saw at least a note from Sheriff Walsh, who apologized for not being able to be here tonight. So.
Further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I recommend adoption of resolution number 7601, establishing a hiring freeze for the Champaign County departments and offices funded through the General Corporate Fund, and rescinding resolution number 7248, and I so move.
Second by Ms. Amons. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. Motion carries.
I recommend adoption of resolution number 7602, authorization for loan to the 202 Art Bartel Construction Fund from the Public Safety Sales Tax Fund, and I so move.
Second.
Second by Mr. James. Mr. James.
Is there any, on these bonds, is it going to affect the interest rate, do you think, on what we're trying to do with those? Because wasn't it at 3-something, if my memory serves me right, since we're having a hard time and the market went south?
Right. It will probably have some impact on the interest rate. We don't know for sure at this point until they're actually issued. We have guaranteed that they will be issued so that we close on them by January 31st. It is completely anticipated at this time that we will not be doing the refunding of the 2003 bonds because of the change in the market.
Any idea where the market may be at all, 5%?
I didn't check today. It's not, I don't think it's that drastic a change.
That's going to affect the bottom line on it, right?
It will have some impact on the annual, the annual payments.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And finally, item number 8, I recommend adoption of resolution number 7603, authorization for loan to the 202 Art Bartel Construction Fund from the Capital Asset Replacement Fund, and I so move.
Second by Ms. Amons. Discussion. Same question, Mr. James?
I guess my glasses were fogged up, thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And that is all from finance. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any new business? Mr. Carter? Use your microphone, please.
I was kind of having a problem with Mr. Bass's voice up there on that. I don't know why this system picks up some voices, but some you can't hear them too. I know I'm getting old, but I can hear pretty good, but I think it's something wrong with this system at times.
I think it is getting old.
I was trying to figure out what he was saying, and I missed, that was a temporary vote, wasn't it?
Well,
No,
often people have a difficult time figuring out what.
You talking about for the, Mr. Holton as
The
county clerk?
The clerk, yeah.
No, that is he's now the regular clerk, i.e., or you want to call it permanent clerk.
But I just
On January 5th, he will become effective.
I just want to change my vote. I'm trying to figure, I couldn't hear him too good. I don't have a problem with that.
I move unanimous consent to suspend the rules to permit Mr. Carter to change his vote to a yes vote.
Thank you. Second by Mr. Knott or Mr. Kurtz? Mr. Kurtz. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Please note that Mr. Carter has changed his vote to a yes. Okay, Mr. McGinty?
And just related to what Mr. Carter was saying, I watched on cable our last committee of the whole meeting, and it was nearly impossible to hear almost everyone. So I encourage everyone to speak loud and clear into the microphones. And I think on top of that, there was something wrong with the recording. I'm not sure, but it was softer than normal, and you really couldn't tell what was going on.
Ms. Busey, have we had the system checked out, or is that possible? I mean,
Yeah, we can have them come in and check, but basically, it boils down to getting this close to your mic and making sure you're being heard over the
so
system.
you're saying about 2 inches away?
Yeah, you have to be fairly close. You really don't get picked up if you're like this from your mic.
Okay. All right. Very good. I believe that's all we have, so we are adjourned.